Check it out, that is Pyramid Mountain there, here at Pyramid Lake in Jasper National Park, Canada. A awesome sunny day here with the fall colors in full effect. Pretty amazing. Just hiking up this trail here and about to head off the trail actually and head around the edge of the lake here. Haven't explored this way before, so we'll see what happens here. So this video is on the subject of the greatest service that you can offer the world. Definitely a good topic, and one that could have many different types of answers. Alright, gonna head on down here. So there are, of course, many different ways that one can offer a service to the world, and really we're all offering some kind of service to the world. You could say, I don't know, maybe if somebody's just sitting in a vegetative state somewhere, then they aren't. But even then, they're offering a service to those who are caring for them, in terms of, lessons of compassion for their situation, and so really you could say everybody is serving the world in one way or another, whether it looks like it or not. Another quick scan of the gorgeous side of this lake on a nice sunny day for a change. So what would the greatest service that one could offer to the world be? I mean, you could be an environmentalist, be a doctor, go to soup kitchens and feed the homeless, be the president and hopefully make some positive changes that way, protest the logging of trees and or more proactive things, coming up with some new invention that can clean the oceans. Like, that would be really awesome, right? Like, we have this huge continent of garbage in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Wouldn't it be sweet if somebody somebody did invent, now that I think of it, some teenager invented a contraption that would help clean the oceans. So that I don't know if it's in effect yet or what's going on with that, but I read an article about that some time ago. So that would certainly be a great service to offer. But I want to get a little more general here, something that can be applied to everybody. What would be the greatest service that you could offer the world? And you could say that it is love. Certainly, that would be a valid answer to that question. Because we all know the world needs more love, that's for sure. And love makes the world go round, really. All you need is love, as the Beatles said. And love is really what, life and existence is all about. So if you could bring more love into the world, then that would be a great service. There's a problem with that concept in my mind, which is that we have such limitations and misunderstandings and distortions and constrictions of what love actually is. And so lots of spiritual paths and religions, Christianity, etc., are talking about love. But how genuinely in a place of love are a lot of these people that are talking about it? And how much are people genuinely realizing their true potential with that in mind? So I think that there's something else that people can keep in mind as the greatest service they can offer the world, and that is honesty. Which, when it comes down to it, honesty and love are really the same thing in a way, because honesty is transparency, openness, intimacy, vulnerability, the truth of your being. But the difference between focusing on trying to be loving versus trying to be more honest is that being more honest encompasses a lot more in our minds than that of trying to be loving. Because too often people think, well, if I'm being loving, if I'm going to be more loving, I should never be angry. I should never get frustrated. I should never be impatient. I should always be kind and helpful and positive and nice and friendly and never get upset and never hurt anybody and just always be in a bright, sunny frame of mind. When the truth of the matter is that is not how most of us genuinely feel most of the time. And so honesty is headed in the direction of greater love, but in my view, then it is truly the path of actually getting there. Because beyond all of our distortions and expectations and misunderstandings and all that of what love is and who or what we should be if we are going to be more loving individuals, we can figure out how we really feel. We can perceive what we really think, what we really believe. And this then becomes a much more all-embracing way of being than that of just trying to focus on being positive and nice and friendly and kind and helpful. And this is really the ultimate path to salvation, if you will, to enlightenment, to the world coming to a more sane, more tolerant and open-minded, open-hearted state of being, our human societies, is to allow greater freedom of expression and of being, which includes the whole spectrum, not just being nice and friendly and loving and kind and helpful and good, but the truth of what you're actually feeling, what's really going on within you, where you actually are now, here, in this present moment, because that's what you have to deal with, where you're really at. Trying to be something or other, in my view, is a lost cause that doesn't lead to genuine evolution of being. We need to work with where we're really at, what we're really feeling, what we're really thinking, what we genuinely see and believe and feel and desire, and where we think we should go and what we think we should do. We have to actually work with the truth of who we are. And so if you are practicing being more honest, this would include anger. This would include speaking your mind to people when you know that it's going to be taken in a difficult way by them, taken personally, and may end up causing them pain. They may be offended or hurt by your statement, or they may be frustrated or angry because of a view that you express that differs with a view that they hold dear. But this leads to greater openness of being and a much wider and broader spectrum of human expression and experience and states of being than this very rigid, narrow concept of good and bad and what helping the world really means. Because I do believe in the freedom to follow one's bliss, follow one's passion, and that helping the world doesn't have to mean, going out of your way in this major way of trying to feed the poor, trying to, you know, save the children and fix the wrongs of the world. And, you know, this is all, you know, I'm not against any of this by any means, but this is, for one thing, not necessarily taking into account other people's abilities and power to affect their own situation and their responsibility for their situation. Not that I'm saying, you know, the rich people are doing it right and that's why they're rich, and the poor people are doing it wrong and that's why they're poor or whatever. That is absolutely a fallacious viewpoint, but in my view. But we can create a world of greater happiness and freedom to be and do what we want to be and do by doing that ourselves and allowing ourselves the freedom to be and do what we genuinely want to be and do. And if that means your passion is building homes, you know, for the homeless, then absolutely go for it. But if your passion is art, painting, that can be a service to the world. So what is your honest truth of being? What do you genuinely want to do? What do you genuinely feel? And by getting truer to yourself, truer to your real feelings, regardless of what other people think of you, regardless of how it not regardless of how it affects others. Obviously, we have to keep that in mind, but keeping in mind that if you are being honest, then you really can't be faulted for that. In terms of your expression of being, not, you know, harming others or something like that, but you know, allowing oneself the freedom to be who they really are, because that's real love, is the freedom to be who you genuinely are. And we have a real gap between who we genuinely are and who we are presenting ourselves and who we think that we are in this society of ours. And so we have to figure out who we actually are before we can be who we are. And so the best way to figure that out is to be honest with yourself and be honest with others about what you really feel, what you really think, what you really believe, and how you really want to live your life. So take care. Namaste.